Welcome to my acorn processing video. Here we're testing to see if the acorns will float in the water, and we realized we had a bad batch to start off with. So before we could go any further, we had to go out and find some more. Here we are walking around the woods, we're scavenging, and even though it was the end of November, we actually were able to find a good amount of acorns, and we even found some that had been partially already cracked by squirrels, and it made it a little bit easier in the shelling process. Here I am holding the bag of about half-filled acorns. We're still looking for a few more, and we got a little bit more to do. Yeah, it took us about an hour-ish to find what I estimate to be about 100 acorns that we used for this. And now for the satisfying part. Out with the old and into the new. Gonna throw away those old rotten acorns, bringing in a fresh batch. Next up is to shell them and get the cast off of them. And my buddy Steve would break them up, crack them a good amount, and then I would go ahead and just take the rest of it off, separating the meaty parts from the shell. Finally, after about 20 to 25 minutes of cracking and shelling these acorns, we finally got to the next stage where we began to pick off the skin that was on top of the meat and separate the small bits of shells that were mixed in with the acorns. Next up, we spread the acorns over a baking sheet to dry them out. They were quite moist, and we were worried about grinding them up this way, as they would have just turned into a paste. After those 2 turns in the oven at 250, we felt that the acorns were dry enough that we could process them without them just turning into paste. We went ahead and separated the shells and the rest of the skin, or like the little fine bits of shells, just to clean up the acorn before we went ahead with the processing. Those are the remainders. Next up, we went ahead and grinded down these acorns with the mortar and pestle, and this actually took us quite a while longer than we thought. Maybe because of the volume that we put in at once. Maybe if we had done a little bit at a time, it could have been a little easier. But we did find that after at least another 10-15 minutes of grinding these down, there were still some little chunks in there. After a lot of grinding, we got it down to a consistency we were happy with, and we went and got ready to process taking the tannins out. So here our method was to pour it into a dish rag, and we made a nice pile of it, and then we followed that up by pouring boiling hot water on it. We know that some people use hot water, some people use cold water, and we felt that using the hottest water would give us a easier chance to get all of those tannins out quickly. And after pouring a full pot of boiling water on it, we tasted it and did not think that it tasted bitter. So we think that the hotter the water may be a more effective method to go with. After draining the water out, we went ahead and wrung out the rag just to get as much of that water out. After we got that out, we went ahead and spread it on a bowl, and we spread it over the edges and let it sit for a while. Then we would mix it up like I'm doing in this video, and then we would spread it out again over the edges, and we did this several times until we were finally happy with a dry product that we felt we could use. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you've enjoyed my video and learned a little bit about the acorn processing cycle.